Hello, how are we today? Today I'm going to have a little bit of a talk about that old digital thing and, having physical copies of games. It's sort of come to head recently with Sony, hasn't it? Where they were on threatening about shutting the PS3 store and the Vita store, wasn't it? But they turned around from that and went, no, we won't do it after much backlash. But it brought up the whole thing about, are your digital games safe? They're supposed to be there, for a lifetime, and how long a lifetime is, etc., whether you can access them. And recently, my little story I'm going to tell you about is just another antidote to it, and just sort of like what can happen with these games that apparently we can get access to all the time, even when the store is shut. So what I did recently is I bought myself a lovely PSP again. To be fair, I've had a PSP a couple of times before. Same with Vita, and I keep getting rid of them because they just sit on my shelf for ages and I don't really play them. But I thought I'll get one again. Because I'll hopefully play it this time. I'm really getting infused to try and, slot in gaming at any sort of time I can. And plus I can put my PS1 games on it and I sort of practice on them before I make the videos. Yeah, so this was dirt cheap off eBay, about £22, box, lovely. The plug didn't really work, which was a bit of a shame. But not a great shame because I've kept cables before and I can charge it by USB at the moment. So what I wanted to do though, I've obviously downloaded lots of digital games before. I mean, it came with one disc game, one I wasn't really bothered about, Brothers in Arms or something. It's back in the box now because I don't really play it. But I thought I've got loads of digital games I've downloaded. So I got my memory card sorted and put into it. And I thought, right, I just need to connect to the Wi-Fi. And then hopefully, I've read up on it before I did it. You can still purchase them from the store till the 2nd of July, I think, the PSP store. And then after that, the store will be shut, but you can always download your games again. So I thought, that's great. I'll try and download them. But the first problem I came across that I wouldn't thought I'd have a problem for was connecting to the internet. Because when I tried to set up a new connection, it wouldn't find any of my internet access points for my router. And I thought, this is a bit strange. What's going on here? Is it something to do with the firmware on the device or something like that? So I had a quick Google then and found out, basically, PSP always connected to something called WPA, which is the old sort of security type on your router, and we're on WPA2. Now, essentially, there's different names to them, but that's essentially it. We're on new, more secure internet, but it doesn't connect to that type. And there's lots of videos, tutorials, how to do it, or how to basically dial into your router and change it and put it down to WPA so your PSP can go for it. Now, I could do this. I've been into my router before and changed it mainly for gaming, etc., to get a better bandwidth going on there so we can download quicker. But I thought, I don't really think my wife would be very happy if I change it to a low security setting because it might mess up all the other internet connected devices in the house. But even if it didn't, it's a lower security setting compared to obviously new. That's why it gets updated. So I don't really think she'd be happy if I did that. So I thought, okay, well, fair enough. I'm not going to do this. There must be a way to do it without using the internet. There's a couple of ways you can do this. The first one, for obviously PC. And I remember they used to have the software you could do it at Sony Media Go. You could download stuff on there and everything. And had a look on the internet and they're like, yeah, you can't get the software. It's not supported anymore. But some sites you can download it from. And they're like, yeah, just go to the store and download your software again, once you're logged in. So great. Managed to download that, install that. I'm like, well, where's the store? It's only then when you actually really read the small print, because some people have been useful and left the articles up there archived, and there's a little small print about going, this is archived, it doesn't actually work before. Again, the store's not on there. So that was a bit more wasted time and a bit of a head scratcher going, well, I can't really do this on PC then. I can't log into my Sony account. You can go into the old site now, you can find it with more games on, or even the current PlayStation site, and buy the games there. What's still available, and it will download to your device. But obviously, if there's no internet on my device, that sort of system doesn't work. So I'm a bit of a conundrum here. However, I have a PS3 as well, and this is how I've done it before. I downloaded stuff to my PS3, and then you can transfer it to your PSP or your Vita that way. So I thought, well, it's a bit of a problem if someone didn't have a PS3, but I've got a PS3, it's fine. So I downloaded them to my PS3, plugged in my PSP. Lo and behold, it's like, well, this doesn't work. I can't see a PSP. You need to update the firmware. Again, if I had the internet, probably not a biggie, but, I didn't on the PSP. So it wasn't too much of a case. But again, it's back to your PC. Find out where the latest firmware version is. Again, it's not on Sony, useful site like that. You have to go on some other sites, which, you know, try and then infest your computer with loads of adware and all that lot, but managed to do it anyway. Put it on your memory stick and then update it. Great, brilliant. Plugged it into my PS3, it finds it excellent. So I thought all I need to do is, you know, press that orange triangle and copy across to your PSP, and an error message comes up, and you're like, well, what's this error message? So I can't remember the exact number, but basically the error message that came up was basically you're not logged in. This isn't the same sort of account. You need to log in on your PS3 for this to work into your PlayStation account. Reasonable enough. Okay, fair enough. So I try and log in. Wouldn't log in. Nothing would log in. Wouldn't find it. And I'm like, well, this happened before. Now, this is a sort of separate issue in one sense, and a sort of at the time issue, which I didn't realise until I'd sort of done this mistake and made my life a little bit easier. But basically, I googled what's going on here. Like, oh, you got to restore your factory defaults for the PlayStation. Go into safe mode, do that. And I've had some problems with my PS3. It's actually the disc has stopped working, and I think it was when I did an update for the software. So it's one of them I've got to go back to look at. So I thought, this is probably something else to do with that. So just restored it. Tried to put my PIN in again, my password, and it wasn't working. I'm like, what's this? Oh, it's like you got the two-step verification now. Okay, more security settings are done. But to do this on the PS3, if you've never come across it, instead of actually putting in your password for your PlayStation account, you need to go into it on the PC or on your phone, into your account, and generate a new password for your PS3 to be picked up. And it's part of this two-step security thing, which is fine. So I try and do that, and then lo and behold, that's when I find out actually the PlayStation network is down. I was like, oh right, okay, fair enough then. So I didn't really need to do all that and all that malarkey, so I had to wait till the next day. Still got no games on my PSP that I can play, apart from this terrible war game I don't want to play. It's probably not terrible, but I don't want to play it. So wait till the next day, check first thing in the morning. Is the store up? You know, is PlayStation back online? Yes, it is. Great, okay. So, and by this point, you know, I know, okay, I need to generate this code. Generated the code. Brilliant, sat there. Go on my PS3, put the code in, fine, get to the store. Hooray, it's all working. Plug my PSP back in. Try and copy. Lo and behold, another error message. You're like, what's this now? What's this? I'm like, I'm so close, so close. Why can't I just have my games? I just want my games. But anyway, had to look what this code was all about. And this is basically, it's because of a two-step security verification. It won't let you copy it across because of the way the passwords aren't going to be the same on your PSP and on your PlayStation. And even if I could on the internet, this was the thing, if I could get on the internet on my PSP and I logged in with my normal code there, because the PS3 has this different code because of a two-step verification, the different passwords, it never marries, so it just wouldn't work. So what do you have to do? You have to turn off two-step verification. Again, I can go in on my phone into my PlayStation account or on the PC, did it, turned it off, went back on my PS3, lo and behold, hurrah, hallelujah, it'll copy over. And I finally got everything over on my PSP, and as you can see, I've got all my games in there. Lovely, excellent, brilliant. I mean, there's a few I couldn't fit on there because I haven't got a big enough memory stick. I had 8 GB, so there's a few, but they're on my PS3 ready to transfer in the future. Now you say, after all this, what is the issue of that? A lot of stuff going on there that like I could have got by, or you know, do you think you have to deal with this now? You know, for older systems. But the main thing that I've sort of come away from that thinking is this digital content easy to get? I mean, like I say, a handheld, if you could be in the same situation, you got rid of a PSP or another console, say your PS3 in the future, you come back to it, and this might be 10 years from now. And your PS3 might not, you know, the router hardware and that might not go onto your internet. You might have the same problem. So how do you get access to those games? You know, in that sense, you can't really download them on the PC. So you really can't get your digital games. They could say to you, well, you know, the store's shut, but you can always go into your download list and get them. And I appreciate what they're saying there, but they're not telling you the problems, obviously, your hardware. Because like I say, I suppose they say to you, you have to turn your security settings off, you know, for your router. First of all, if you're not really that technical minded, how are you going to log into your router? The general person might know how to do it. You might not know how to do it. I mean, there is enough YouTube videos out there and lots of guides of how to do this. But the point is, it's going to mess up all the other hardware in your house. And if it doesn't mess it up, it's low in security. So you risk at something else, especially on your PCs and, you know, your other devices that connect through the internet, like your Xboxes or your PS4s, PS5s, whatever you got. And also the two-step verification. Now you can turn it off and then you could go back and turn it on. Which is fine, but I mean, every time I want to transfer something, I've got to go in, turn it off, and turn it back on. And you could leave it off, say, and you might not have two-step verification on it, but let me give you another tale. I was one of them, thought it never happened to me until a couple of months ago, literally a couple of months ago. All I was doing on my phone was adding in the free games through the PlayStation app. And I checked afterwards, and there's usually about 4 games in there, and I had 5 receipts saying thank you for your order. I was like, okay, what's this? And I wouldn't usually check these at all. It was just for some reason I was flicking through my emails going fine. And the last one was for £90 because apparently I bought 2 games that I'd never definitely play. And I was like, what? And then when I looked in my basket, and someone had tried to put a football game in there that I'd definitely never play as well for another 50 quid. And basically someone had hacked my account, and it had gone straight out my account. And let me tell you now, if you've ever had a misfortune of this, banks are useless. Sony were quite good because obviously I explained to them it took 48 hours and a lot of phone calls back and forth to do it. But then again, they've obviously suggested to you at this point, when I was on the phone to a nice person, they were like, we'll put on two-step verification after this. And the point is, if you turn off a two-step verification, if something like this happened in the future, are they then going to go, well, it's your fault and we're not going to refund it because you took the security measures off? You know, they're there for a reason. So I don't really want this off, you know. And like I say, the point is it's better security to protect you from that sort of thing happening. So why wouldn't you want it on? Anyway, I've ranted a bit here, and I thought I'd make it as a different video, a sort of ranty video, because I like to rant occasionally, which you haven't seen that. But please tell me your thoughts down in the comments. What do you think of this? Are you going, oh, Chris, what are you on about? This is what you have to deal with. Or has it sort of persuaded to you, you know? I won't do this. Digital content, again, I'm always about, you know, having physical content. I mean, in my mind, I'm not made of money, but I did add up the games I've sort of got that I won on the PSP. You can buy them in CAX, probably on eBay, saying like 20 quid. I could probably get most games, apart from like the Capcom collection. They're quite a lot to buy still, second hand. But they're fine. I'd leave them digital, and I could delete the others to make space to get other games on. But I think it's just easier to go physical, buy the games I actually want on physical on the PSP in a minute. Because they weren't too much. So that probably solves that one. But then it's like, I've already bought it once. It's only on the PS3. I bought all these PS3 digital games. Do I then have to go and buy hard copies? And it makes you then think, I was going to get one of these new Xboxes, isn't it? Just a digital only. Or the PS5, I was very much like, I'll get digital only. Because I do actually download a lot digital. And I don't really buy a lot of discs because they don't go out. But should I? Should I really, after this cautionary tale, my experience here? Because 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, will I be able to get hold of his content? And, you know, because I'm into retro gaming, as many of you are watching this video, you know, we want to play these old games. I mean, I'm playing stuff off a Mega Drive, isn't it, from Master Systems, 30 odd years old, but that's because it's on a cartridge. So in 30 years time, I want to play some PS4 games, and will I be able to do that? Do you think Sony will still have a server on for me to download them? If I could even get access to it and to find some way to do it? Anyway, lots of questions there. Ranted even longer. If you like this sort of thing, and you like anything 90s, 90s gameplay, rants, reviews, gear, how to fix gear in some half-ass way that I do, yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. But until next time, people, bye.